Bringing your vision to life. Here are our top tips for success. My name's Anna LaGrange and I am one half of Baba Business.
And my name is Liz Stamford and I am the other half of Baba Business, the Birth and Baby Business Academy. So I love talking about this because I really do feel like I brought my vision to life with my very first business when I had finished training in hypnobirthing, and I set up my business all the way up to the Calm Birth School and now with Baba as well. And there are certain things that I did and I know that you did that just sort of really helped bring it to fruition. And so for me, I really think that the first thing that really helped me with my vision was getting clear on what I wanted and why I wanted it. So I'd had this drive for a good few years before I did my training to create a flexible, family-friendly business, if you like, but I didn't know how I was going to do that or what it was going to be, and it evolved into being hypnobirthing. So I think being very clear on that and then understanding that kind of gave me the motivation and the drive to really make a success of it. And I won't go into all the ins and outs because we'd be here forever. That motivation and drive was definitely the first thing. So if you don't feel motivated or driven to create your business, then perhaps whatever it is that you've trained in or whatever you're doing is maybe not the right pathway for you. That might be hard to say, but unless you've got that drive, that motivation, that passion, that desire, that purpose fueled energy, then it's going to be very hard to create a successful business from it, really.
Yeah. I totally agree. The passion and the why has to be there. I know there are successful business owners out there doing stuff that they don't have a huge amount of passion for, but I think a lot of them are men, and I also don't understand how that works. I'm just being totally honest. I don't understand how it works. I think good for them, but I've always loved what I do. And I've done a lot of different things. So I just think, you've got to love what you do and have it and see and be able to see that vision. And I like where you said you started that with that vision for your own family and how family life could look, because it just kind of pinged up a memory in my mind that one of the things that really made me want to join IBCLC was the international element of it, because we always wanted to live in the sun. That was a goal of ours. My husband's from South Africa. I did not think I'd be living in the sun by now. I didn't, like, it really fast forwarded, but that was always to me like a kind of it's like a safety net, if you like, to have an internationally recognised qualification that I could travel with. And here I am, living in the sun, and it's all worked out. So I had kind of forgotten that until you said that.
That's amazing.
For me, it's about practices and about, I had a real issue with self-belief. I think I tend to be someone who really goes for what I want, and it usually works out. But when it came to business, I had such a steep learning curve. Like, I had so much I didn't know. I knew nothing, literally knew nothing. But I did know about how to talk to people, how to build relationships, how to, get to know people. And I guess that's where I started, really. But for me, I had to have some practices that were going to help me to build my self-belief that I could do this and build my sort of growth mindset that I could do anything, and kind of get over any stumbling blocks, because I think often when we see stumbling blocks, we experience them, we're like, oh, this isn't for me, what am I doing? Who am I trying to kid? Like, I can't do this. Especially when, for me, like my nursing career in the NHS, it was honestly always quite easy. I was quite good at what I did. I was enthusiastic. I was very employable. And I always, so it was sort of just, it was quite easy. And when I came into running my own business, it wasn't like that. I didn't have somebody patting me on the back anymore saying, oh, you're doing a great job, Anna, aren't you wonderful? I didn't have that. So I was just like, oh, I'm on my own here. So the practices that really helped me are really getting into that headspace of the future. So imagining whatever it was I wanted to create. It didn't matter how removed I felt from it, or how far away, or how impossible it might feel. If I could really kind of visualize, feel into it. I used to sort of write diary entries of the day. So probably the one that comes to mind the most is when I was writing my book. And I wasn't even writing my book. I wanted to write a book. I didn't even want to write a book. I felt I had to write a book on mindful breastfeeding. And I felt so much resistance about it. But it was just, I was just being told by whoever, a greater being, that I had to write this book about mindful breastfeeding. I was the person who's going to do it. So, but I couldn't, it just felt like such a huge mountain to climb. So what I did is I wrote a diary entry, and in this diary entry I wrote about it in a really fun way, like it was my book launch. It was all these people, it was in a certain place, all these people who I loved were there. The book was, well received. I was holding it in my hand and I felt how that felt. It was out there helping mums. I also imagined like even the food at this event, and even that my illustrator was by my side, which was somebody who I was trying to work up the courage to ask if she would do the illustrations for my book, because I wanted to be a visual book. Every single thing that was in that diary entry happened in real life. To the minutest detail, it all happened. And it still like blows me away thinking about it, because it just all fell into place. But I had to get into that headspace first, where I was like, this is my vision, this is what I want. And I had to, and I had to kind of forget about the steps to get there, which felt really huge. So I think for me, on a very practical level, that diary entry, future casting or visualizing, and most importantly, feeling the energy and the feelings that came up with that really got me, and still does get me, to where I want to go. And I know when we're doing stuff together, when we're struggling to sort of see something, and it's even harder when it's two people, isn't it? Because we're two individual people with our own wants and desires. Luckily, the reason Baba works is because we really are on the same page when it comes to this business and our purpose and all of that. But I think whenever we're feeling stuck, which we do, absolutely, like any other business owner, that's what we come back to, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I love that. I love that happened with your book and everything.
So,
I know you've told me that before, but even just like hearing it again, it's like it's so cool. Like people should do. I've done stuff like that before as well, and it really, really helps. Like people should really invest the time in doing it. And it made me think about when I was in the sort of early days of my very first business, early days, like early years, I can't remember exactly. I'm totally rubbish with timelines, but I created a vision board. And this was because I had got my first coach, and it was a bit like a group program. So there was like online content, and then there was support from her. And one of the things she got us to do, because she was like a therapist, and that was her area, but she was teaching us how to create our own businesses. One of the things she got us to do was to create a vision board. And obviously, like visualization is something that I already knew about because of hypnobirthing, but I hadn't thought about how I could use that in my business. And there's lots of different ways I could have used it. And she suggested this vision board, and I remember it as clear as anything. I was in our old house. So I was on our living room floor, the kids had gone to bed, and I was like real old school, like magazines. I think I even printed some stuff off because I couldn't find the right thing, like words and pictures. And I just had it really clear in my mind what I wanted. And because I'm such a like practical, process driven person, like I need a step-by-step thing. I can't have it like abstract how some people do. I need to have a vision board that like makes sense. So it was kind of going round in this circle, if you like, of like this and then this, and that leads to that, and that leads to that. And that vision board went up in my ensuite bathroom and was literally there for as long as we were in that house. So it must have been there for a good 8 years. So I would look at it every single day. My husband must have been like, what is she doing? And everything on there in some way, shape or form has come to fruition. And it just like really blows my mind. I just love that I took time out to do that, and that it was something that was there, and it was something that I focused on but also didn't focus on. It was literally just there. I think the power is in the creation of it at the time when you're creating, like be really zoned into it and really understand what you want, and like tune into that energy, and then having it there, it's always like subconsciously in your mind, and it's just so powerful, and it's fun as well. Like it's a real fun thing to do, so I think everyone should do that as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's so easy to make a digital vision board now on Canva,
Yes,
and you can then have it as your background of your computer, your laptop. Of course, you can print it out. You can have it on just phone screensaver.
got one
There's so
on my phone at the moment. Yeah.
many go, see. So
Yeah.
definitely a fun activity to do, but fun, but make time for it. Like it's an
Yeah.
important thing to do. I think I really want to touch on like, what if the people who are around you don't support your vision or don't get your vision? Because that can be
Yeah.
really challenging, can't it? I mean, I'm just going to be totally honest here and say my husband, he didn't really get my vision. I think because he's not from healthcare, or even, and he's a parent, obviously he went through 3 births and all of that
Yeah.
stuff, but he obviously doesn't share my passion. He obviously saw my excitement for it, but I think also, to be quite honest, I think in the back of his head it was like, Anna's got a really stable career, like that, growing and does really well, like why is she going off and doing, like trying to learn a whole new thing? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? He never actually said that out loud, but I can see now that, that was probably
What he was
part of
thinking.
the
Yeah.
thought process. I think that that can be really hard. And it's so important as a business owner to surround yourself with people who they don't have to understand your vision totally, but they need to be able to support you with it, to be there, to be
Yeah.
your cheerleaders, to be your, sorry, I'm losing my internet. Am I back now?
I can still see you and hear you. Yeah.
Okay, I'll start again. So you need people to be your cheerleaders, to really,
Oh,
you know, yeah, you need that support, because you're on your own often with a business like this, and you need people who get you. So I think it's really important to find your people, surround yourself with them. You need people who can, lift you up, and not necessarily. It's not that my husband put me down, but he used to ask me a lot of questions. The questions used to kind of, like, totally understandable questions, because we're trying to, look after a family together, and we've got a household budget, and we've got bills that need paying and stuff. So they were very legitimate and understandable questions. But because my level of self belief wasn't great, it
yeah.
really sort of affected my self doubt. And that's why, for me, having business buddies, having a community, having a coach really helped me to build that self belief despite any questions that were coming from myself. And for other people, I know that people that we work with, sometimes it's their extended family, it might be their mum or their cousin, or people going like, what are you doing? Not that I ever had anyone
Yeah.
say that to me, but our clients tell us that they have people who just don't get it, and it can really impact your mindset, can't it, and how you feel about your business. It can really,
Mm,
like, take the wind out of your sails when somebody says something, even that's neutral, let alone negative. It can really
yeah.
be quite a blow.
Definitely. I think that's such a good point. And I think if people are listening or watching this and thinking, oh, my husband is not supportive, or, like I'm actually too, embarrassed to tell my friends what I'm doing, or anything like that, then it is vital that you go out and find those biz buddies, because, you need those people that are going to like build you up, champion you. And that's part of the reason why we created Baba, the membership, is because we wanted to be that safe space where people could go in to the group and just say what it was that was on their mind, and with the knowledge that everyone would get it, and just, or they could share their experiences, or give some words of advice, or even just say, yeah, I hear you, and we're here for you. So that is definitely a very important one. And we've really touched on this in everything we've said here, but it is like 80% of what you do in your business has to be with you have to be working on your mindset, you know, because if you are just, if you have like low self-belief, low confidence, if you feel really negative about what you're doing, about your business, if you think, oh, what's the point, I'm not really going to achieve it, or oh, I'll do this and see what happens, it's, chances are it's really going to impact your success. So build into your day the those mindset practices so that you can create this big vision and really, really bring it to life. Because unless you have the right mindset or an approach, then it's going to be very, very difficult for you. And then something completely different and something that we love is planning and being organized. You know, that really helps bring your vision to life rather than firefighting and just like, I'll try this, I'll try that, which can be great and fun in the early days. And I'm not saying don't do that or that's wrong, but if you want to create something specific and you've got a vision and you want to create success and impact loads of families, then planning is definitely the way forward.
Yeah, you've got to have some systems in place. Otherwise, I mean, I'm very much a person who's like, oh, I'll try this, oh, I'll try that, I'll try, try this other thing. And sometimes those things that I'm trying are to try and procrastinate on the stuff that's really hard, like asking for the sale or, marketing something that I don't know if it's going to land, to protect myself, or whatever it is, a bit of self-sabotage really. So planning and really focusing, but you starting your planning with that vision and your mission. It's fun. It's like a really exciting thing to do, because then you can start to see all the steps of building up towards that goal or your goals. And it's such an important part of it. So we do love a planning system in Baba. And talking of Baba, I think this would be a great opportunity to tell you that the membership is open. If you haven't already seen that the Baba membership is open, we
Come
can
and
announce
join
it
us.
do. And the Baba membership has had a glow up this year.
Has it ever? Yeah.
So and this has been sort of part of our vision as well, because the way Baba happened, it sort of snowballed out of nowhere. And we've told you the story before, so I'm not going to go over it in detail again, but it snowballed from a simple conversation that we had at Euston Station. And here we are today, sort of, I don't know how many months later, coming up for 2 years later. And we've had to really, as it's grown and matured, we've had to really evolve the business and what it offers. And we've really evolved this year. We've taken the Baba membership onto a whole new platform, really exciting place that is very streamlined, and it's just a really great place to learn all the stuff that we teach on the podcast, but at a greater depth and a lot more targeted to your business. So all the stuff that we've talked about today, plus so much more about how you can create a business that's sustainable, profitable, and where that grows. And whilst also having that support of other birth and baby businesses around you that we've been talking about in this episode today.
Definitely. Please do come and see us. You can join us and pay monthly, or you can pay for the full year, and then that will give you a discount. But if you join monthly, there's barely any risk to you. It's £25 a month. Come and see what it's like. Check it out. Come and be part of our community. Come and check out our content. Apply it to your business. And if it's not for you at the end of that month, then there's no worries. But we know that once you join, you're gonna love it. And we would love to see you in there.
We would. It's not just content community. We have live calls, so we have coaching calls each month. We have planning calls each month, and we also have workshops every quarter with more content. So there's so much to it. So check the link down below and go and find out more about the membership. We'd absolutely love to have you in there if you're not already a member.
Yeah. Bye.